And welcome back. Gorgeous night to hit out, and I should say head out and hit the State Fair tonight. The only thing we're really tracking on the Doppler radar at this hour, a few clouds over the higher elevations. Notice nothing really in the way of rain showers. Just a little slight shower activity south of the Grand Junction region, but overall we're expecting very clear conditions tonight and a few clouds rolling through in the early morning hours. And notice this big area of low pressure up my hometown, Billings, Montana. That is the driving system behind all the weather we've seen over the past few days. What it's doing is it's hooking on to a lot of that monsoonal moisture and pulling it all the way across the region. If you remember, that area of low pressure started off of the North Pacific, dropped down to the California coast, now traveled back north up into the Montana region and has done the same thing, just track that moisture right along. When we turn on our SkyCast, here's how we anticipate this to play out for us. Now, associated with this area of low pressure, we do also have an area of colder air moving through the region. In other words, a cold front. As that cold front continues to track through the state in the early morning hours tonight, normally we would see winds pick up a little bit more than what they are expected to do. So, in other words, it's going to be a very calm night for us, but the biggest effect out of this cooler air is just that, cooler air moving right through the region tonight. That's going to keep overnight lows a bit on the chilly side and daytime highs tomorrow struggling to reach 80 degrees across the region. Places in the mountains are expected to stay into the 50s and 60s tomorrow due to that cooler air. Now into the early afternoon hours tomorrow, we will see a few spotty showers kick up into the higher elevations, but we're not suspecting anything too crazy to really instigate. For the most part, they're just going to be very isolated, very spotty showers. Currently, SkyCast models are putting one little batch of showers just south of the Springs through the Pueblo region. Again, they're not carrying a lot of moisture with them, so not really in the area of heavy rain, more or less just kind of splash and dash showers moving through the area, enough to dirty up the car and kind of frustrate you a little bit is what we're expecting. As for highs tomorrow, here's how things are shaping up. Well into the 80s out to our east, but once we start hitting into the foothills, those temperatures are really going to struggle to hit the 80s. Again, even 84 degrees into Pueblo, that might be pushing it a little bit depending on how heavy that cloud cover is. And again, we're looking at the 60s and 70s into the higher elevations. Over the next 7 days, here's how things are playing out for us. Again, temperatures fairly consistent into the 80s, looking at the 70s to follow. Conditions should start to clear up slightly by Thursday and Friday of this next week. That's when we're expecting an area of high pressure to rejoin and kind of clear things up a little bit for us. But about a 10 to 20% chance of showers throughout this next week, with 80s pretty much all week long. As we move over to the Canyon City region, we're looking at, again, 80s and a few 70s throughout the week, 50s for your overnight lows. Those 50s for your overnight lows is really where we're going to feel the effects of that cooler air moving into the region. We're kind of getting a double shot of colder air. We have that first cold front moving through tonight in the early morning hours of tomorrow, and then another one for beginning first part of next week between Tuesday and Wednesday. That's going to really allow for those temperatures to kind of cool off a little bit. Into the mountains, looking at about 40s for your overnight low and only 60s for your daytime highs. So cooler with a few area rain showers moving through. I hate to say it, Jonathan, but it's feeling a little bit more like fall.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's a little bit of snow close to where you grew up in Billings.
Exactly. I was just, I was thinking about that. There's a reason I moved down here.
Yeah. I asked if he wanted to go back. He said
winter
no.
weather advisories in the month of August. I think not.
Eek.
Pass on that.
It's coming closer. Yeah, well.